Have you ever wondered what makes a person cross the line into criminality? What dark thoughts and twisted logic drive someone to commit terrible acts? Today, we're journeying into the shadows of the human mind, exploring the chilling field of criminal psychology. We'll unveil the sinister side of humanity, examining what separates us from those who operate outside the bounds of law and morality. How does a twisted mind operate? What turns a person into a master manipulator, or even a monster? Let's find out. Criminal psychology is a fascinating intersection of psychology, criminology, and the law. It's not just about what criminals do. It's about why they do it. By dissecting the motivations, we can improve our legal system, make our interrogation techniques more effective, and develop better rehabilitation programs. Think of criminal psychologists as detectives of the mind. They work closely with law enforcement, creating profiles of unknown offenders, analyzing crime scenes for behavioral clues, and helping to solve some of the most baffling cases. Their insights can be the key that unlocks a mystery, pointing investigators in the right direction when all other leads have gone cold. It's a field dedicated to understanding the darkest parts of human nature to better protect society. To truly understand a criminal's actions, we have to look at their past. It's rarely a single event that creates a criminal, but rather a complex web of psychological and social influences. When we examine the backgrounds of offenders, we often find a history of significant trauma, neglect, or abuse. These early life experiences can leave deep scars, shaping a person's worldview, their ability to feel empathy, and their methods of coping with stress and anger. It's a stark reminder that the seeds of future behavior are often sown in childhood. The environment in which someone is raised, the family dynamics, the neighborhood, the social opportunities, or lack thereof all, play a critical role. It's the classic nature versus nurture debate, and in criminal psychology, we see that both are deeply intertwined, shaping the path a person takes. One of the most complex areas within criminal psychology is the intersection of mental illness and criminal behavior. It's crucial to state that the vast majority of people with mental health issues are not violent or criminal. However, in some cases, untreated or severe mental illness can be a contributing factor. Conditions like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or severe personality disorders can sometimes impair a person's judgment, impulse control, or perception of reality. This has a huge impact on the legal system. The courts have to determine if a person was mentally competent at the time of the crime. Did they understand what they were doing? And did they know it was wrong? This is where the insanity defense comes into play, a concept that is often misunderstood but is a critical part of ensuring justice is served fairly. Forensic psychologists are essential in these cases, providing expert assessments to help the court make these difficult determinations. Now, let's delve into the minds of some of history's most notorious criminals to master manipulators. What sets them apart? Often, it's a terrifying combination of intelligence, charm, and a complete lack of empathy. Think of figures like Ted Bundy. On the surface, he was handsome, charismatic, and studying law. He used this charming facade as a weapon, luring his victims into a false sense of security. This is a common trait among many serial offenders. They are expert actors, wearing a mask of normalcy to hide the predator within. This ability to manipulate and deceive allows them to move through society undetected, committing horrific acts while maintaining a seemingly ordinary life. Understanding this deceptive charm is crucial for law enforcement and for all of us. It teaches us that evil doesn't always wear a monstrous face. Sometimes, it wears a friendly smile. What fuels such extreme violence? Often, it's a potent cocktail of deep-seated alienation and resentment. Many violent offenders feel like outsiders, rejected by society, their families, or their peers. This sense of isolation can fester, turning into a simmering rage against the world they feel has wronged them. They might develop a narrative where they are the victims, and their violence is a form of payback or justice. This warped perspective allows them to dehumanize their targets, making it easier to inflict harm without remorse. They see others not as people with families and feelings, but as symbols of their own frustration and failure. This psychological process of othering is a key component in understanding how someone can rationalize extreme acts of aggression. We've touched on it before, but it's impossible to overstate the impact of childhood trauma on future criminal behavior. The human brain is incredibly malleable during childhood. Experiences of abuse, neglect, or constant instability can fundamentally alter its development. Children who witness or experience violence may learn that aggression is a normal way to solve problems. Neglect can stunt the development of empathy and attachment, making it difficult for them to form healthy relationships later in life. This isn't an excuse for criminal behavior, but it is a critical piece of the puzzle. It helps explain the cycle of violence, where victims of abuse sometimes become abusers themselves. By understanding this link, we can see the importance of early intervention and support for at-risk children. Protecting children from trauma is not just a moral imperative. It's a powerful crime prevention strategy. When we talk about the dark side of psychology, one term inevitably comes up: psychopathy. It's a term often used loosely, but in clinical terms, it refers to a personality disorder characterized by a profound lack of empathy, manipulativeness, impulsivity, and antisocial behavior. Not all criminals are psychopaths, and not all psychopaths are criminals, but the trait is heavily overrepresented in the violent offender population. A psychopathic mind operates on a different emotional wavelength. They don't feel guilt or remorse in the same way most people do. They see others as pawns to be used for their own gratification. Understanding the neurological and psychological underpinnings of psychopathy is one of the biggest challenges in criminal psychology. It helps us unravel why some individuals are capable of such cold, calculated cruelty, and it's essential for assessing risk and managing these individuals within the criminal justice system. So, how do we use all this knowledge? One of the most practical applications is criminal profiling. By analyzing the behavioral patterns left at a crime scene method of the crime, the type of victim selected, the level of violence used, profilers can build a psychological sketch of the likely offender. This profile might include their age range, background, personality traits, and even their habits or occupation. It's not a crystal ball, but it's a powerful investigative tool that helps police narrow down a pool of suspects and focus their resources more effectively. Profiling is both an art and a science, combining empirical data with psychological theory and intuitive insight. It helps investigators get inside the mind of the person they're hunting, anticipating their next move and ultimately bringing them to justice. Exploring the psychology of criminal minds is not about sensationalizing evil. It's about understanding the complex tapestry of factors, psychological, social, and biological, that contribute to criminal behavior. It's a field that challenges our black and white notions of good and evil, forcing us to look into the gray areas of human nature. By studying why people do bad things, we not only learn how to catch them, but also how to potentially prevent such tragedies from happening in the first place. It gives us insight into healing, rehabilitation, and the enduring power of compassion and intervention. The journey into the criminal mind is dark, but the knowledge we gain can be a light that guides us toward a safer and more just world. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the criminal mind. If you found this exploration as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that uncovers the hidden corners of our world. Let me know in the comments what aspect of criminal psychology you find most intriguing. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.